Welcome back. In the last video, we successfully completed our T accounts, creating one T for each of the accounts that we had a journal entry for. And now we know the balances of each of our accounts. The next step is to create a trial balance. A trial balance takes this whole page of T's and lists each of the accounts with just their ending balance. We're no longer going to be looking at the activity, but just the ending balance in that account. Our trial balance is going to have an account number, an account name, and then if we ended with a debit balance, we will enter in the debit column. If we ended with a credit balance, we'll enter the amount in the credit column. So let's start with the account names and we'll come back to the account numbers. So we're going to list them in the same order that we have our T accounts listed. The convention for a trial balance is that we list our assets first, then our liabilities, and then our equity accounts. So we're going to start with cash, and cash ended with a debit balance of $152,700. So I'm going to enter $152,700 in under the debit column. Next, I have accounts receivable. So I will enter, and it has a debit balance of $70,000. So I'll enter $70,000 under the debit column. Next, I have inventory, has a ending debit balance of $5,000. So I will enter that in the debit column. And then I have equipment, which has an ending balance of $72,000 debit. So I will enter that in the debit column. Next, I have accumulated depreciation. Accumulated depreciation has an ending credit balance of $2,000, so I'm going to enter that in the credit column. Then I have accounts payable, which has an ending credit balance of $5,000, which I will enter in the credit column. Then we have stock, which has an ending credit balance of $200,000. Dividend, which has an ending debit balance of $10,300. Revenue, which has an ending credit balance of $120,000. Payroll expense, which has an ending debit balance of $10,000. Rent expense, not doing good on my spelling today, which has an ending debit balance of $5,000. And finally, depreciation expense, which has an ending debit balance of $2,000. Okay, I've entered all of my T accounts into my trial balance. And you can see how this is a lot easier to look through than this whole page of T accounts. I can at any moment say I have $152,700 in cash, I have $120,000 in revenue. Trial balance gives us a great way to check our work. And in order to do that, we add up all of our debits. And then we're going to add up all of our credits. And if we are very lucky and we've done everything right, they should equal. Our debits must always equal our credits. And in this case, they do. We have a total of $327,000 in debits, a total of $327,000 in credits. We've got our double line to show that we have checked our work and we are done with, we're almost done with our trial balance. Account numbers. Within our accounting system, we're going to give each account its own account number. It's not as readily apparent why we do this with what we've done here, but imagine if instead of having one cash account, we have 5 cash accounts. Maybe we have one for operating, maybe we have one for payroll, maybe we have one in a different currency if we do business offshore. So we want each account to have its own number. The only hard and fast rule is that the account numbers must be in ascending order, in the order that we list our accounts on the trial balance. A good rule of thumb is to have one number series for assets, another for liabilities, and then we're going to split up equity a little bit. Let me show you. So I'm going to say all of my assets start with 1. So cash will be 100, accounts receivable will be 101, inventory will be 102, equipment will be 103, and accumulated depreciation, despite having a credit balance, is an asset account, and it will be 104. Accounts payable is a liability, so that will be 200. Stock is equity, so it will be 300, and dividends will be 301. Revenue and expenses are each going to have their own number series, and I'll show you why when we get to the financial statement. So revenue is going to be 400, payroll expense will be 500, rent expense will be 501, and depreciation expense will be 502. Again, remember the only hard and fast rule is they must be in ascending order, and as you can see, mine are. Each one is bigger, each account number is bigger than the one that comes before it. Okay, that completes our trial balance. In the next video, I'll show you how to put the trial balance into our financial statements.